Alright, do I have everything I need? Alright, this belongs over here. Yeah, I'm down here. Getting ready to go live. Actually, I am live. I just haven't officially gone on yet. I'm on, but not officially on. People are hearing me say this too.
Okay, now it looks like life came in.
Okay.
And I talked to Lenny.
Yeah.
She's saying there was some debate there. Doctor was like, well, diabetics, we do 38 weeks. She said, well, this doctor said he was planning on 37. So they looked in the chart, they oh, because of your kidneys, it is week 37. So she's going in Friday night at 7:30 next week.
Next week. So the day before my birthday.
Oh, no. They have to soften the area up. They're going to do drugs or a balloon to soften the cervix in the area.
Yeah.
Inducing them Saturday morning.
Oh, okay.
So you are going to be sharing a birthday probably.
And Lynn's not going to be happy.
No. She's perfectly fine with it. She said she thought you were upset about it.
No, why would I be upset?
That's what I thought. I said, it's no big deal. I said, don't
All
worry
right,
about
well,
it for a second.
I'm actually on, so I mean, you can either sit here and I guess I'll go break the news. Hey, everybody! No music today. I'm not taking any chances of pissing some musical group off. How you doing? I don't know if you were just hearing that conversation. Joyce just came home from work. They've officially set the day because my daughter has to be induced because of a couple of health issues. He's going to be born Saturday, December 19th. Probably, which is my birthday. My grandson is going to be born on my birthday, likely. So that's the thing. Let me see. Who is all here? Because everybody's piling in. Hi, Chris. Hi, Carl. Welcome, Roof Railways again. Colin, nice to have you here. Ed Sutherland. Bing, 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 bing. Who have we got? A lot of people are talking to each other. Don't need me. Ed Sutherland. Kieran. Hi, y'all. Mark. Good to have you here, sir. And bing, 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 bing. Let's see, March West Junction, how are you? And I've already got a couple of questions. Paul, good to see you. Saw some of your posts on Facebook today. All right. Hey, Tim, nice to have you here, sir. I want to say to any German friends listening in, Grüß dich, which most Germans want to understand. That's a dialect of German called Allgäuer, and it just means hello. Grüß dich, which in proper German it's Grüß dich, but in Allgäuer they say Grüß dich. Grüß dich. That's my Allgäuer. See right there it says, whoops, there it is. Find your nipples, Anthony. There it is. Allgäu, which is southwest Bavaria. Town called Kempten I was in a couple years ago. Gorgeous little town. Okay, so let me answer a couple of questions real quick. A couple of people asked me to run steamers today. I can't run any steamers. I own one, well, I now own two steamers, and they're both under the Christmas tree. One is circling the Christmas tree because it was the Christmas train. The one I had on the track last week, that is my Christmas train, so it's now officially performing its function. It's around the Christmas tree. We had posted something on Facebook, and if you don't know my Facebook, let me pop it over here for you real quick. Hopefully this will work. Trying this out. That's the other thing to talk about. Do it again, bow, bow, bow. So let's go here. Did I have it on Facebook? Let's go. Well, come on. Zoomy, zoomy, zoom. But yeah, here's the Facebook post. Now I have two Facebook pages. I have my official page and then my Model Train Outsider page. So you can see it's up here, Model Train Outsider. If you don't want to see my political views and stuff like that. But the train, this really expensive train that I got for really cheap, arrived on Wednesday, December 9th. I was allowed to take the lid off. Actually, I wasn't even going to be allowed to do this. Joyce took it over. Joyce did not even want me opening it. This is my Christmas present. I'm not supposed to. But I said, look, I don't want to find out it got damaged in the mail and then open it on Christmas and go, holy crap. You know, I'd rather at least know it's okay. So I opened it and just looked at it, made sure all the pieces was okay. Nothing was broken off. Nothing looked like it obviously had been damaged in the mail. I have not even had the locomotive out to mess with it. But it is here. And then as soon as I took this picture and put the lid back on, Joyce grabbed it, ran upstairs, and wrapped it. So this too is under the Christmas tree, doing its function of being a Christmas present. I think I did put a mic on here. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And let's go back to this real quick. Ace review. So yeah, I only have the two steamers, and I'll be technically down to one steamer because the Christmas steamer will no longer run on my layout. It will be strictly a holiday train, and otherwise it'll be up on a display shelf I'm putting in over there, which you can't see. Over there, but over there. And so yeah, now I'm waiting for that one. And yes, that will be featured. I will probably be doing a Boxing Day live stream. Now, in America, we don't really do Boxing Day. Some people know December 26th. Since December 25th is a Friday, and that's Christmas and that's family, I won't be live streaming that day. Unless I get really bored Saturday evening. But I know several people already actually have Saturday evening shows planned. But we do Christmas dinner in the evening and all that. And we'll also be entertaining my grandson. So that's a big deal. So I'll have just that one steamer. I'm really, really tempted to get the other Rheingold steamer that was on eBay that was not nearly as, it's a much older model. It's not nearly as expensive as that one, although it's as expensive to buy, but it's also still half of what it's worth. I saw somebody selling it for $700 used, and this guy is selling it for $399 used. I don't know if I could get to that real fast. Let me pull up eBay and show you the other one I was toying with. eBay. Watch list. Bam. So there's this one, which if I hadn't gotten the other one, I was going to buy this one. But as you can see, this person wants $400 for it, which is a little more than I like to spend on trains. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, Roof. But this is the other one, and I kind of like the fact that the locomotive is this blue and cream. But this is an older model and would need some upgrading with the decoder. But it comes with all kinds of cool stuff. Gorgeous cars. These cars are absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Jerry Satz, welcome. David Cook, if I didn't say hello to you, hi. But this is the other one. And I'm still thinking of maybe getting this one too. But that's a different world. So anyhow, let me go back so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, you know what? You didn't see any of that, did you? I forgot to do this. Oops. Nobody said anything. I'm showing you something you guys aren't seeing. Hey, Rabel. So anyhow, yeah, let me show this to you again because I was babbling and showing it to you, but you weren't seeing it because I didn't have it open. Let me do this again. This is the other steamer I was thinking of getting until I won the other one. But as you can see, it's $400. Are you guys seeing this now? Are you hearing me? Hi, Steve Childers. So I was going to get this one if I didn't win the first one, but I won the first one, so I wasn't getting it. But now I'm thinking of getting this one, except I've already blown my train and Christmas budget. But I'm toying with this one. But you can see this is also a very gorgeous train. I think this is gorgeous too. So, yeah, I've toyed with getting that one as well. And he hasn't sold it, doesn't have bids or anything. He's got an offer. I'd have to talk to Joy. She'd probably shoot me. But I'm toying with getting that one. All right. And then the last thing before I start running trains. Hey, did I see Andrew T is in? Hi, Andrew. And yeah, I agree, Tim. I think it's a lovely color blue. Okay, let me go back to me for a second because Roof has asked twice. Okay, Roof Railway, since I still don't know your first name, I'll have to type it in and then hope I remember it. To stream on YouTube, you don't need 1,000. You only need 1,000 from your phone, but the minute you use any kind of other streaming service like OBS or StreamYard, it circumvents that. The only way YouTube says you need 1,000 people is if you're doing it from your phone and you're doing it straight from the YouTube app or whatever. If you're doing straight go live with YouTube, then you need 1,000 from your phone. On the computer, you can stream with 50 people. You can stream with 10 members if you're doing from the computer. And if you're using StreamYards or OBS or anything else, you don't need it at all. You don't need to worry about 1,000. So yeah, you can stream live as long as you do it from your computer or use a proxy server like StreamYards or OBS, and you'll get through it. So there. Toby is your name. All right, Toby. Roof Railways is Toby. Cool, Toby. Old Toby. See, American guys wouldn't get that. UK guys would understand that reference. Old Toby. All right. So anyhow, the other shocking thing, I didn't know if or when it would happen. I broke and have stayed above 700 subscribers. And don't say congrats or anything like that. I appreciated all that, but I'm just amazed there's that many insane people in the world. It scares me. But I never thought this channel. In fact, this channel has grown by 480 people in this year. My first year, last year November, I got up to about 225. I was around 230, 240 at this time. So yeah, about 450, 460 people this year. Now, it really slowed down. I've had a couple of spurts. When Tristan from Double O'Neill gave me a shout out, I jumped up about 30. That was a big to-do. And then I appeared on somebody's live chat, and that got me like 10, 15 over a couple of days. That was a big thing. But overall, it's just sort of, I say hi to people and comment on their videos, and they subscribe to my channel. Now, probably 70% of people who subscribe to my channel turn around and leave my channel. And I've got a lot of people that are subscribed to my channel I haven't heard from in a long time. And I've got a lot of Germans and Dutch that are like, you've stopped doing the Miraculin shows. Why aren't you doing the Miraculin shows? Well, I've stopped doing shows. Not that I perceive being done with the shows. It's just I've stopped doing shows for the time being because I'm addicted to the live streams. And the time I put into live streams, which is just the 2 hours you see me live, and the work schedule this year is just crazy. I don't have the free time I used to have. This is it. I am spending my weekends and my days constantly designing new lessons, digitizing all my old lessons and trying to teach online, and then grading the homework online, which takes forever. You guys have heard me complain about it every day. I apologize, but it's just my free time is down, maximum down, and I had too much free time in the spring and summer which is what got me going and losing all the weight I've lost. I'm now down 55 pounds. I've officially gone below 230 pounds, and I've stayed there for a week. So I keep going down. It's slowed down quite a bit, but I'm not going out for the walks and riding my bike with the weather being as crappy. So that the fact that I'm still dropping weight is still pretty cool. All right, let's get some trains running and bada bing, bada boom, bada pow. There we go. I left the freighter on. I left the freight train on for all you freight train lovers. That's there just for you all. A lot of you have said you love my double deckers, so all my double deckers are back out and running this week. For the second straight week, this is a record. The Railjet and the ICE3 are parked. They're not running. I don't think I've ever done this since I've done live streams or running sessions where they have sat out 2 straight live sessions. They have not been on the track in 3 weeks now. I took them off 3 weeks ago to set up the one. So, yeah, they're all off today. Get your lights on. Does everybody have their lights on now? No, you don't. Okay, you got your lights on. Good. Everybody's got their lights on. Yippee yahoo ki-yay. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. There, we're good. Okay. I know. Hey, like I said, this is 2 straight times without the Railjet or the ICE3. I've been setting records here. Last week I had a steamer and a freight train on at the same time. I only did that once before. But last week was the first time I had both the freight train and the the Railjet and the ICE3 off, and now I'm doing it for the second straight week, so that's setting a record. Hey, welcome, Randall. I think I caught people greeting. Randall Ellison's there. How are you doing, sir? I'm not sure I get that. Well, hi, Vinny. Thank you for saying, yeah, I know you got your show. Hey, Joel, how are you, sir? Joel. Yeah, Kieran, the cats watching the videos were not the funniest part. By the time I got my camera out and started filming, our one cat, Molly, had walked away. My wife got a picture of the 2 staring at it, but not with the train. But yeah, they literally would follow the train halfway around the tree, and then when it went behind the tree, they would come back out, waiting for it to come around. And then when it come around the corner, they would jump back like shocked it was there again. And then they would follow it around the train, the tree again. Oops, what did I bump? Oh. So by the time I got my camera out, only our 2 black cats are Molly and Minnie. They're new. They've only been with us about 5 or 6 weeks now. I forget when it was. It was sometime early in November we got them. So let's say 6 weeks, give or take. Hey, welcome. So again, if I go to, okay, that's because I broke 700 subscribers. Let's see, let's go to Facebook. Yeah, that's the new steam train that I have to wait for Christmas. Like I said, I took this picture, and as soon as I put the lid back on the box, Joyce grabbed it, ran upstairs. She also turned around and wrapped the Beatles Yellow Submarine train. So, yeah, she took that away from me. She's taken all my new trains away from me, that darn woman. Let me see. Let's go to my other Facebook page real quick. And bing. And yeah, this was... this is our cat, Minnie. This is Minnie. welcome Z Fantasy Trains. Almost thought you were Z Scale. I now declare you a knight of the round point table. There. So I don't know how well you're seeing that, but yeah, this was mini. Molly had already given up and left, but this was mini. This is what they spent about 10 minutes doing. He used to like Joyce. Well, happy spouse, happy house. So anyhow, let's do 11 lane here. So anyhow, that was the cats with the train. What am I bumping? I am bumping something and causing the pause. I don't have a weirdest train. I really don't have a weirdest train. To me, the weirdest train is the freight train because I'm not into freight trains, but my wife bought it for me. I don't have a funky... My weirdest train will eventually be that Beatles Yellow Submarine, but I don't even know if that's weird. It's cool. My trains are German modern era, era 6 as it's called in Germany. Era 6, which means anything after 2000, 2005. Era 5 ends in 2005. Era 6 begins in 2000, so there's a 5-year overlap period. And these are all, except for the freight train and the Czech Railjet, they're all trains I've ridden on. That was kind of the rule. So I don't have a weird train. My trains are just normal trains. I don't know what would classify as a weird train. Sadly, you haven't seen my Railjet yet. My Railjet is just like super slick, awesome, cool. And there's the faraway one. Oh, Ray, I am a huge, huge Beatle maniac. I've loved the Beatles. They're the music of my childhood. I remember watching their press conference on TV in 1968 when they announced the formation of Apple Corps and that. I hadn't been, well, I was 3 months old when they were on Ed Sullivan. 2 months old when they were on Ed Sullivan. So obviously I don't have that memory, but by the time I was 3, I actually have an active memory that goes back before I was 3. I can remember clearly things from before I was 3 years old. I used to drive friends and family crazy because, how do you remember that? I don't know. It's in brain. I remember it. You were 2.5. No, Kieran, if you like one of my Miraklin Locos and you want to run it on 2-rail, you need to go to Trix. Miraklin releases almost all their trains that for me are 3-rail. Trix. All right. Am I bumping the power here? What is going on? That's like the 3rd time that's happened all of a sudden. Usually it only happens if I accidentally bump the stop button. Hey, welcome, Damien. So yeah, so Damien already caught that right. Yeah, Miraklin, if you want it in DC, you just look for Trix. The difference is the Miraklin trains are built in Germany and Hungary, and the Trix are built in a couple of different places. And one of their factories was in China. I don't know if they moved it out or not. And right now, I don't trust anything made in China. I'm seeing the Hornby and Bachmann stuff that's made in China, and it's just falling apart. The plastic is not good. The metal is definitely not good. See, the thing is, you can take a DC wagon or car and put it on an AC train as long as it's a non-powered car. The minute it's powered, you can't put it on a 3-rail track. You can't put it on my 3-rail stuff. American cannot go because Jason at Barnabas Junction back in the summer picked up a American car with metal wheels. And he was, talking to me about it during his live stream and like, yeah, hey, Anthony Dodge, I know you do American and I've got this here, and he's putting it on his track and I'm like, no, wait, no, and I'm typing, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And he puts it on and his whole system's shorted out. He goes, well, that was weird. And so I was like, Jason, American doesn't have the insulated wheels to put metal wheel. If you have metal wheels on a DC, they're insulated from each other. The two sides are insulated because of the, in DC and DCC trains, the power runs through the rails. In AC, it runs through the 3rd rail. So basically, all he did by putting that metal car in with the non-insulated wheels was he completed the circuit between the rail. It'd been just like taking a piece of metal and putting it over your track. Zip. Hi, Alan. How are you? Yeah. Well, the thing is, Andrew, day pull in America, and I've seen in the UK, seems to be hit and miss, and a lot of people love the quality of day pull. In HO European trains, day pull has a really bad reputation. Their HO European stock, their stuff that's Central Europe, German, French, railways, is not popular. And most people will avoid it but like the plague because it's considered really crap. That's why I'm always shocked when I see a lot of UK guys are like, look at this gorgeous day pull, and day pull's just fantastic. I'm like, maybe their 00 stuff is better, but their HO European stock, not good. Yeah, and then you just got to install that. Okay, Paul, from what I understand, hey, welcome, Pete Clark. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. Yeah, Paul, that device you got there is more for if you want to run accessories, not the train, the accessories, like you've got some DC powered stuff and you want to run it off your Central Station 3 or your AC powered plug-in. You can plug it in there and convert that AC power to DC. I don't think the 60130 is for trains. I'm pretty sure it's not. With American, you either have 2-rail Trix trains or AC 3-rail. That power box is converting accessories, not the trains. Now, granted, my American knowledge is limited, but that's one of the first things I remember looking at when I was debating, did I want to stay with 3-rail or go to 2-rail? And that's because in Europe, some of the power systems are different. So I'm missing a lot of chat here because I was looking those things up. So, doo-doo-doo. Nothing at the station. Nobody at the village. So we got a couple guys coming here. We're going to get busy here in a second. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Passing through Hamburg Süd, Hapag-Lloyd, Maersk, DB Schenker, BP. I only got the one BP car. Let's catch this guy coming in up the ramp. Right in your camera. Right in your face. I still haven't lit these cars up because I can't find a bistable, also known as a latching reed switch. Oh, sorry, yeah. No, when that phone rings 999 times out of 1,000, it's a worthless call. We get so many telemarketers, but even our job calls us. There will be a town hall meeting. We would like you to a phone conferencing town hall meeting. We'd like to invite you to. And it's like every day they're having some sort of online meeting and they're inviting me and Joyce to it. It's like, no thank you. Click. No, DB Schenker and DB Cargo are now separate companies. They used to be one, and now they've gone separately. And technically, DB Schenker is their international travel, and DB Cargo is strictly within Germany. That's why you guys will still see DB Schenker. At least I think that's, I might have it backwards, but. Yes. Yes. The double-deckers have a standard consist of a locomotive, 4 passenger cars, and 1 control cab at the end. So a total of a locomotive and 5 cars. Now, some in the Regiobahn, the red one coming around just about now, bingo, sometimes those will be shorter. Sometimes those will be shorter. So like this one only has 3 cars and a control. But the most they'll have is 4 cars and a control. So a total of 5 cars and the locomotive. That's the most they'll have. So yes, all of my double-deckers are standard consist. We won't use the P word. All right, bye, Chris. Take care. Yeah. Well, Leslie, so that still kind of fits in what I was saying is DB, I think you guys, don't you now see DB Schenker in Germany? Or in Germany, in the UK. Don't the cars now say DB Schenker? Because I really thought DB Schenker is the international arm outside of Germany, and then DB Cargo is the inside Germany. No longer DB Schenker in the UK. Do I have it backwards? Then again, maybe they just pulled out of the UK because I'm not that knowledgeable the way you guys are on so much about train stuff, but with DB, I was pretty sure because when I first started going to Germany, we were seeing DB Schenker and DB Cargo, and then all of a sudden, you were seeing DB Schenker everywhere else and DB Cargo, and somebody said, yeah, DB Schenker is the international. Because I was going to get a train that said DB Schenker, and somebody said, well, if you're doing a German layout, don't get the DB Schenker one because they took the DB Schenker off the locomotives. It now just says DB or DB Cargo. For a while, you had the Railion logo as well, and now that's gone. But you still see DB Cargo in Germany. I know that because we saw him last year. So now you guys are DB Cargo. Ah, well, that's the crazy Germans for you. Doo, doo, doo. So there, we'll go to the multi-picture view for a while. Hey, Flymo. Let me see. Did I miss anybody else coming in? We're up to 24 today. That's not bad. That's not bad. So I'm assuming 2 weeks from tomorrow is the first time I will be presenting my new steamer. I might not be running anything else. I'll just have the steamer on and run them. Because I assume... I'm going to assume I'll probably sometime on Saturday try to bring him down here and clean him, go through all the motions, clean him up, make sure he's all good, and then do a test run with him. I actually plan on filming a episode of Model Train or Miraklin Outsider to do a review of him, so I might even do that Christmas Day. Do a test run and review of it and turn that into an episode of my Miraklin Outsider, as it is a Miraklin train. I actually have part of a script for a new Model Train Outsider and a full script for the follow-up to that. Joyce and I, since summer, have had a very crazy storyline we wanted to do with the Ghost of 2015, but I started these live streams and I just lost the desire to do the show. I'm not working on the layout, so there's nothing to show off there. Which is what the Miraklin Outsider shows were about. All right, bye, March West Junction. Okay, I have it backwards. DB Cargo is now it used to be DB Schenker Rail, but now DB Cargo is the international, and DB Schenker is the German regional. That's what Google does for you. In Germany and on a global level. So that's DB Cargo. DB Schenker. DB Schenker is now just a logistics bit. So you'll see DB Cargo and DB Schenker. Just depends on what division it's being shipped from. So the actual rail is now DB Cargo, and then Schenker. So you might see a DB Schenker container on a DB Cargo. Yeah. Oh well, now I'm up to date. Thank you, Wikipedia and Google. We know you're not always accurate, but that's probably close enough. Hey, I'm up to 702 subscribers now. Thank you, Roof Railways. And Ewan is taken off by Ewan, if that's what somebody said. Okay. Hey, Amit, you're here. Get my Miraklin people here. I'm surrounded by all these UK people with their 00 scale and their Bachmans, and I got to bring some sanity to the world and get some Miraklins and some Picos, P-I-K-O, and Rocos going. Mostly Miraklin though. Do I have a Pico going? Nope. Everything's Miraklin running today. Today everything is Miraklin. It's all Miraklin today. No Pico, no Roco. Hey, bye, Alan. Thanks for stopping in. Always appreciate seeing you, sir. I always like it when the big guys drop in on us little people. So yeah, we're running all American today just to keep it. And yeah, I know I've got the Americans going, but what about Aethern and MTH and Atlas and Bachmann USA? I'm even less familiar with that stuff. I know more about UK trains than I do about American trains. Sorry. I know the American train some of the American train companies. North American, if I add in Canadian Pacific. Union Pacific. And the old Conrail and CSX and all those guys. But yeah, I know a little. Yeah, I am Era 6, Ahmet. I am Era 6. My wife Joyce has the same question. Why have you gotten a steam locomotive? And the consensus is peer pressure. People have been nagging me since I started doing live streams. You need a steamer. When I started doing running sessions first. You need a steamer. You need a steamer. Why don't you have any steamers? I'm not into steam trains. You need a steamer. And everybody left me alone when I said, all right, I'll think about getting a steamer. And then I made the mistake of saying, fine, I've got a steamer. And I put my Christmas steamer on my layout and ran it. I ran it as a freight steamer. I put some of these, it was totally inappropriate, wrong cargo, wrong era to go with that Christmas steamer, because it actually has Christmas logos on the side of the locomotive. And that just made it worse. Because, see, you got a steamer, you can run a steamer. You need more steamers. And I think I finally caved. I will concede to Joyce's decision. I caved into peer pressure. But just the one. Although, as I said, I'm now looking at a second one. But that's it. No more. I just don't have the room, and I'm just not that into steam. As gorgeous as they are mechanically, I'm just not into it. I'm even less into diesel, although I have a few diesels. I've got the diesel, the DMU. I got a couple of those, and I've got one diesel locomotive, the Alex. Everybody loves a steamer. Well, see, I would have said that's not true of me. I love the mechanical engineering in a steamer. It's just not what I'm into. I love the modern. I'm a new guy. The only thing that they were built better in the old days are houses. Once we started building houses out of new growth trees instead of old growth hardwoods, it's just not the same. I'd rather have a 90-year-old house than a 10-year-old house. Hi, Ian. So no big boy for me. No, I've seen it. It's a gorgeous piece of engineering. In fact, Märklin, my train company, the German company, they make at least one, sometimes two American locos a year. So if you ever go to the Märklin site, they made a big boy that came out this year. It was their big super deluxe money expensive locomotive. I think it was like $800. But I was on a live stream, I think it was, TSG Media, and they were talking about how he and James Wills, I'm going to blow that last name. They were talking about how all these different versions of the big boy, and none of them are accurate. And I really wanted to chime in, but they don't know who I am. Have you seen the Märklin one? Look at that one and tell me, do you think that one's more? Because if there's one thing Märklin does, it gets the details right. Yeah, my house, Ray, is, 1955 my house was built, so 65 years. But the saving grace is it was built with old wood. I believe that we have true 2x4 studs, actual 2x4, where it's actually 2 inches by 4 inches, not 1.5 by, or 1 3/4, 1.5 by 3.5. And it's brick. I think that was the only praise I ever got from my father in the 45, almost 50 years, 50 years that we lived on this earth together. The only praise was when I bought a brick house. My dad was like, "You bought a brick house. Smart." Um, 50 millimeter by 70. Hey, Kevin, Pork Chop Express. Ian, I don't know. Maybe I should just ask on the post because I may have misunderstood your post on Facebook earlier today. So I don't want to go into it here. Because maybe... I don't want to delve too far into... If it's what I thought it was, then probably not the time to talk about it. Anyhow, yeah, so the thing is, so I told everybody I was going to buy a steamer, and I mean, I joked with you guys on a live stream a couple of months ago and said, fine, I'll get a steamer just to shut you guys up. And so I just was debating, but I knew it was going to be next year. Now, somebody asked me about the ICE4, and I never got around to it. The ICE4 got delayed to January. The ICE4 is now listed as a January release. So we'll see. It was supposed to come out early in 2020, and then May of 2020, and then summer of 2020, and then quarter 3 of 2020, quarter 4 of 2020, early November, early December, and now January. So we'll see. Like I said, I was hopeful because they actually had a video they put out showing one of their, not a prototype anymore, but an actual production line one. But they've delayed it again. I don't know if they had an operational problem with their testing or what. Oh, diesels, you know, the thing is, I definitely don't want to offend anybody. Everybody's into something. Just like some people are into eras, modern era. Some people are into turn of the 19th to 20th century era. It's a big enough hobby to support it all. Some people are huge diesel people and they don't like electric and they don't like steam, and they don't offend me if they say they don't like electric. I think I'm drawn to the electric since most of my bullet trains and the trains I ride on and that I love in Germany are electric. When I look at a steam locomotive, I'm impressed because it's how I was brought up. I respect the engineering. To look at how they ran everything to control this is amazing, So when I look at a steam locomotive, but I'm not tied to it like history buffs are, or just appreciating, beyond the engineering. I'm just not into it. My exposure to trains is modern era. That's what I ride in Germany. That's what I wanted, and that's what I do. So it's I don't discriminate. I mean, you love what you love. If you're not into trains, that's fine. Although I question why you're here if you're not into trains. Okay. All right. Yeah, it was just such a short one, and I had just woken up at like 5 o'clock and looked at my phone and then went, oh no, and then, oh wait. But at the same time, it didn't look like whom I thought it was either, so I was confused. Scared the crap out of me. So sorry about that. And Ray, that's very true too. There are people who they love the odd, the weird. That young man, Nathan DeLay, he makes that stuff out of pop cans. That's amazing, and it's going to have a niche where people are buying it. Is it prototypical? No, but it's talented. I sure as hell couldn't do that. It's an amazing hand skill he has there, and they're cool. And a lot of people get those because they're cool. So yeah, if you're a rivet counter, into prototype, there's nothing wrong with that. The time something's wrong is when you start telling other people this is how they have to do it, and that we talk about Rule 1 in Model Railway. And there's a gentleman who's very big in the UK whom I used to subscribe to, and I left his page for a couple of reasons several months ago. One reason being his ego is bigger than his layout. But whenever he's in interviews, he has said, I can't even look at a channel if they don't weather their trains. If it's not prototypical, I don't want to see it. I can't look at somebody. And he was making fun of Sam and IC82. These guys that are so popular and all they do is run stupid trains on a floor. There's nothing to it. And I'm like, okay, I get it. That's not what you're into. But why do you got to bash them? And now I'm bashing this guy, so I'm being a hypocrite, I guess. But it's my point, which is, to me, you lose me as a fan or somebody who respects you when your attitude is, I have to force you to be like me, or I have to tell you have to be like me. There's a line. You can love only pure realistic layouts. That's fine, but don't bash other people, and that's where I drop away. I kind of just said, oh, I didn't say anything. I just said I unsubscribed. I didn't even hit a dislike on the video. I've only hit dislike on YouTube videos twice. The one time because the guy was bashing me, so I think that was warranted. Welcome, Kenneth. Let's knight you and get you the royal spanner. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. So it's, you just, different strokes for different folks, Kenneth. And you just don't take away somebody else's enjoyment. The first 2 YouTube train channels I joined where English was spoken because I got a little tired. Yes, I speak German. I understand German. I'm fluent in German. Well, mostly fluent. If I hear a surgeon or an astrophysicist start talking, then I start going, wait, what was that word? But, okay. Were Sam and Will. And the reason I subscribed to their channel was they weren't high-pressured rivet counting channels. They were just, look, I have a train. Isn't it cool? And I was like, that's the attitude I right now because I'm getting into the hobby 5 years ago. And when I started hitting subscriptions about 4.5 years ago, were the people that were having fun. Like, they didn't care about a layout or not because at the time I didn't have a layout. I had a big table and I was running trains on it. I bought a big green plastic mat to look like grass and ran my track on top of it and ran my trains. You can go to my website and see one of my old videos. In fact, I'll mess with you a second since I've been doing this. Let me go here. Self-advertising. Check it out. If I go to, let me see, running sessions. Oh, train table video. Here you go. This was my second table. Of course, it's going to take forever to play now. There we go. Let me mute the sound on it. But that's my first train table. That's in this basement, and you'll notice the colors of the walls are different. Everything's different because I totally gutted this basement and redid it after we had to have the whole basement redone. But that's my very first ICE3. At this video, it's the only train I own. That's some of my wargaming stuff I threw on the table and some leftover chunks of wood from building it. That's my first controller, a Mobile Station 2. And that's it. That is my first train table. All right, technically it's my second. But I don't have a video of my first, unless you want to count the kitchen table. This is December 26, 2015. The first time I ever ran a model train. Well, first time since 1971. And that was my ICE3, which is now in Canada somewhere. Actually, I know where in Canada, but I won't go any further than that. So that was my first train table, okay? The kitchen table. Joyce wasn't going to let me keep things on the kitchen table. All right, Anthony. Hit the right button. There we go. Indeed. And then I was in Heath's live stream earlier today, and they were talking about the people who had not entered their giveaway contest. If you don't know, Heath at Humanity Junction, he and Mike McCarville, and then several of us donated money in, but he started with Mike McCarville, and Heath really got active in it. They're doing a giveaway where they've got 3 different train sets that they're giving away to people who will then give it to a young family member or a kid to get them started in the hobby. And I've got no kids to get started in the hobby, and so I kind of just typed in expecting to be ignored. Yeah, well, Heath, I didn't enter the contest because I really got nobody to give any of those train sets to. And he starts saying, "You're a teacher?" And I'm like, you do realize that I haven't seen my students since the beginning of March. And I teach teenagers. I could have tried to get one in, but I don't know them. I don't know my students the way I would know them if I were teaching in the building. It says, "Well, what about your nieces and nephews?" All my nieces and nephews are in their 30s and 40s. So I'm one of the youngest in my family, so all my older siblings, and on my wife's side, she's the youngest, or second youngest. So all her siblings are older, so all their kids are only a decade to 15 to 20 years younger than us, so they're all in their 30s and 40s. And it's, well, then they have kids, don't they? I said, I don't give presents to my nieces and nephews. Why would I give their kids? But in reality, I don't see their kids. I don't see them. I don't see my nieces and nephews. Most of them don't live close, and neither family has family reunions. And then he says, "Well, don't you have a daughter who's pregnant?" Yes. And if you missed the announcement, they're going to induce my daughter a week from tomorrow. So the baby will be born December 19th, 2020, which is my birthday. I was born so my grandson is going to share my birthday. Unless something happens weird. But right now the plan is that my grandson will be born on my birthday. What a birthday present. The coolest birthday present a grandpa could have. Yeah. No, in fact, Flymo, for the last 3 weeks, I've been teaching from home. I haven't even gone into my building because my building had an outbreak of COVID. Several teachers are sick. Now, fortunately, I was isolating. I was not talking to my colleagues. I kind of a bit of a loner at work anyhow, and other than people in my department, I don't really pal around or hang out with other teachers in the building. We have a staff of 100. I've got a department of 6 people, and since we've been in COVID lockdown since March, I go into my classroom, shut the door, set up my stuff, and I don't go out and socialize because my daughter was pregnant, because I've got a wife with severe asthma, because I have a daughter with lung problems. But anyhow, so I don't see people. And so Heath brings up this grandson, and I was like, "Oh, no, Heath. As far as the grandson goes, he's covered with trains, right? I got him covered. This part, I mean, no offense, but that grandson's growing up on German trains. In fact, my daughter's already announced that he will be learning German, because my daughter speaks German. He'll be learning German as he gets older. And Grandma and Grandpa won't be Grandma and Grandpa, Nana and Grandpa, or Papa. We're Oma and Opa. We will be Oma and Opa. My daughter has, and Joyce wants that. Joyce wants to be Oma. Oh, Flymo, you're the 16th? Yeah, Joyce and I, our first date anniversary is December 16th. Joyce was my birthday and Christmas present as well. We had our first official date. We actually met October 31st, 1983. That's the first time we kind of met, but we didn't really meet. It was a Halloween costume party. I was dressed as a mummy, and she was trying to take the bandages off of me. She was trying to see what was under the mummy. Um, but we were never formally introduced. Anthony, Joyce, Joyce, Anthony, nothing like that. Um, but somehow, grr, time warp. Somehow, somebody remembered me, and long story short, Joyce and I were set up on a blind date. We were a double blind date. Neither one of us were supposed to be on the date we went on. I was asked to fill in for a boyfriend because the girl and the boyfriend had kind of split up. And then the girl decided she didn't want to do that to her ex-boyfriend, so she dumped me before she met me. But they had already bought me a ticket to the Christmas dance, so Joyce wasn't going to the dance, and they asked her if she wanted to go to the dance, and she filled in. So neither one of us were supposed to be on that date. We met. She was my first and only girlfriend. I was her first and only boyfriend, and we haven't been apart since December 16th, so 37 years. Hey, Richard Brown, Star Trek's over. Oh, that's cool, Ray. That's a lot of things there. Yeah, I was born 2 days after my grandmother on the Dodge side. She was born in Germany, too. 3 of my 4 grandparents were born in Germany. The Dodge is the only part that's not German. That's from England. Although my German side has a little Scottish in it. Long story. But anyhow, my grandmother was December 17th. I was born December 19th. My older sister was born Christmas Day, so my grandma thought my older sister and I were the greatest things on earth because she was born on Christmas. That made her holy. No. And I was born close to her birthday, so I was her favorite grandchild because I was so close to her birthday. I was her favorite grandchild. So that's one of the toughest things. My son, I remember more my son than any other one. My son had a bit of a bad breakup with a girlfriend. He dated in high school. And my wife's like, you should go talk to your son. He's depressed. He and his girlfriend broke up. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, what can I say to this kid? I've never broken up with a girlfriend. I have no experience breaking up with somebody. Son, I hear it. There's other fish in the sea. I hear that you'll find somebody else. I don't know, son. I met your mom and she said yes and considered she was crazy enough and kept her. Well, Flymo, I guess that might be true. I'm not into the horoscope stuff, but my older sister born on Christmas and I didn't get along. She was the first girl, I was the first boy. She was the first of 3 girls, I was the first of 3 boys. And we didn't get along. But then me and none of my siblings get along. I'm Heinz57, a true American. And we all are. I mean, having 3 relatives born in Germany just meant I had a strong pull towards German stuff because it was nurtured in me. Because not only were my 3 grandparents German, but my Uncle Dale flew bombers in World War II, was stationed in Berlin after the war, did the Berlin airlift. Am I rolling on the... Yeah, I'm rolling on the cord. That's got to be what it is. Stupid. And he married a German girl. He married a German lady after World War II. And so I had her around, which is why I have a strong affinity for the city of Dresden in Germany, because she was from Dresden originally. She went to Berlin to escape the Russians. So it just draws me to that side. And I grew up being taught German by various German relatives, and so yeah, I just had a pull that way. But I'm an American. You know, if I go to Germany, I'm not a German. I'm an American. I don't have the German worldview. I don't have the American worldview either, at least America nowadays, but I try to be very, you know, I mean, if you want the truth, guys, and I don't know who this will offend, I rank myself. I'm an earthling first. I'm an earthling first. That is my number one priority. I'm an earthling. Then I'm a human. Then I'm a father and a husband. And then down here, when it comes to then I'm an American. So I'm an earthling and a human first, then a father, and then down here, my levels of patriotism. It's not that I'm not patriotic. I love America. And if people bash America, I'll say, but wait, you don't know. But when Americans are in Europe and acting like jerks, and sadly I've seen a ton of them, I like to straighten them out. Stop embarrassing my country. Well, in America, we're the best and we do everything. No, we don't do everything the best. Maybe in 1965 we did do everything the best. But we don't do everything the best. We could learn things from other countries. And some people find that unpatriotic. But again, earthling first, human first. Yeah, Flymo, my aunt was born and raised in Germany. 3 of my grandparents were born in Germany and emigrated as kids to America. And so I learned quite a bit of German from relatives growing up, especially my Aunt Frida. Elfrieda, there you go, Aunt Elfrieda. It doesn't get more German than that. And so I joined a lot of the local German groups and organizations, the German American Festival Societies, we call them in Toledo, because Toledo has a very strong German heritage. A lot of German, and so our German thing. But the thing is, I grew up in some rather poor, low working class neighborhoods in Toledo. And we had Arabs and Jews and blacks and whites and Germans and Mexicans. And I think it was the greatest thing in the world for me because I just love to hear people. As somebody, there was a Scottish lady in our neighborhood. Born and raised in Scotland, lived in Liverpool, came to America, was a huge Liverpool soccer fan. She was the librarian at our school. And I just thought she was awesome. She was a widower, so she lived in a small apartment near my house. So it took me like 10 minutes to walk to her place. And she's the one who got me, I was already a Beatles fan, but she's the one who got me addicted to Liverpool football. All right, Ray, take care. Oh, yeah. I mean, let's face it, Flymo. I can cuss people out in about 15 languages. Plus, I also know what words are real insults, even if they don't sound like cuss words. For example, one of the worst things you can call somebody in Arabic is the Arab word for a dog. To call somebody a dog or a son of a bitch using the word for female dog, those are the two biggest insults you could give to a person from the Middle East. And I know those words. But for me, to grow up in the neighborhood I grew up with so many people, it's like, wow, they're humans. They're humans. We have different religions, but they love their kids, they raise their kids. This guy beats his kids, this guy beats his kids, my dad beats his kids. We're all the same, aren't we? So my mom was Southern Baptist, and my mom is a very prejudiced person. My mother is very prejudiced. My mom was prejudiced against blacks, Jews, Catholics, and I married a Catholic girl. My mom was not happy. When my mom found out Joyce was Catholic, my mom was not happy. My mom literally snooped through my bedroom and found the engagement ring I had bought, and I came home from dating Joyce, and Joyce already knew I was going to propose and we were going to get married. It was just, when was the special day going to be? And my mom literally is sitting on the couch in our small living room with a cigarette in her hand, leg folded up, and she just looks at me. So, you're going to marry that girl? Mom, we've been dating 3 years. Yeah, or 2.5 years, whatever it was at the time. Yeah, 2.5 years. We're going to wait till after I graduate, but then we're going to get married. And my mom's like, you don't even want to look around for a different girl? Like, no, Mom, I've hit the jackpot. Why do I want to look for another girl? And it was all because Joyce was Catholic, and Catholic Jews and blacks were all evil to my mom. And I just didn't understand that. To this day, I don't understand it. Yikes! Aha, Normandy, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. And of course, in the UK, it's funny. Many of you know Piccadilly Railroad, John Warner. He put up something on Facebook, a really cool excerpt from something early this year. And now I'm fully aware of the UK hand gestures that are bad. But everybody in the world, even people from the UK, do this. Like, yeah, awesome. So I found a GIF that I posted. I was like, awesome. She's like, yeah, awesome. And he's like, Anthony, would you remove that? Because that's offensive. I was like, it is? And then he tries to explain to me the whole bit about in the UK, this is bad. And I'm like, okay, John, I'll stop you right there. I know this in the UK is bad. I know the story behind it, everything else. I know in the UK, this is bad. This is good. This is bad. And that's why whenever you see Winston Churchill doing the V for victory with a cigar, was he doing V for victory or flipping off people behind him? I never knew that for sure. Because in Britain, you can do that. Peace to you. Fuck you guys behind me. But he asked me to take it down. I was like, I know, but, she's doing this. Even I've got pictures of guys from the UK doing this. Yeah, it's awesome. But I took it down because, he was uptight about it. Like, okay. So, yeah. And the funny thing is the French and the Italians, this gesture, that gesture, they've got so many variations of it that all have subtle meanings. Like they can do the short one. They could do this one where they wave the fist, or they'll put the knob of the middle finger up, and each one means more severe than the other. So yeah, in Brazil, maybe even in Portugal, but in Brazil, this is the middle finger. So in America, we're like, okay, but to a Brazilian, that's you, which I found amazing. And I learned that the hard way from a Brazilian. Guy from Brazil when I was in high school was visiting America, and I was working with an organization that was helping him out, and he's telling me all this stuff. He's like, okay, so you understand, you have to pick me up at 7 o'clock and get me over there by 7:30. I was like, I got it, okay. And he's like, I'm like, what? There's no need to be rude. That wasn't rude. That's rude. No, that means okay. No, it doesn't. This means okay. No, it doesn't. In America, this means okay. Not in my country. And I'm like, what does this mean in your country? That means you. Oh, we have the middle finger. Oh, we do that too. Yep, Agincourt, yep. You're scared of these two fingers, aren't you, Frenchies? These two fingers. You're scared of these two fingers. So that's what I think is so funny. That's what I think is so funny, is that something that is not dirty, something that is not dirty now is the most offensive gesture in the UK. You're scared of these two fingers, the two fingers for drawing the bow, because the French, they made fun of the French. Whereas this, there's a reason this is offensive, because this looks like what it's telling you to do. I get that. Even this, we understand what that symbolizes. Up yours, right? And we know what this is. But, yeah, it's so funny. Yes, the thumbs up is offensive. And also, like in Germany, This is one. This is two. So an American goes to Germany and goes, I'd like one beer. I'd like one beer. And they bring him two. I ordered one. But you said two. He's like, no, I said one. And then they're like, no, this is one. But yes, this is also offensive. Something is offensive somewhere to somebody. Talking about offensive things is offensive to somebody somewhere. We have what I like to call offense sensitivity. And everybody blames, oh, those bleeding heart liberals. Everybody's sensitive. I've got a friend, I think I told this story to you guys before. I've got a friend who hates political correctness. And he is right-wing. He hates political correctness. You should be allowed to make fun and talk about anything. But if you make a joke about people with mental disabilities, like if you use the word retarded, or you make what we call in America the short bus joke, he gets pissed. Because he has a son with mental disabilities. So it's always offensive to anybody. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on, how liberal or how conservative you are. Political correctness doesn't have a political spectrum. It covers all sides. It's just what offends you. Me, nothing offends me for the most part except treating other humans badly. That's what offends me. I like humans. When I hear somebody go, people are stupid, some people are. When I hear people love animals more than humans, like, oh man, I just wish it was animals and no humans on the earth. I want to slap them. Humans are here, we're good. Humans do nothing but bad. I'm sorry, have you seen a lion hunt? Well, a lion's only doing what it does naturally. That's what humans are doing. Even our bad side is part of us. It's natural. And most humans are doing good stuff. We're loving our kids, we're trying to survive and make sense of a crazy world, but that's just it. We're the only people trying to make sense of it. A dog is not trying to make sense of the world. A dog's not sitting there going, why do they call places you park driveways and places you drive parkways? Dogs aren't worried about that stuff. Humans do. So there, I preached again. That's why you never go abroad. Yes. Yeah. And I know, pissed in the UK means drunk. In America, it means angry. Although most people I know are angry when they're drunk, so... But yes, and I do know. I know, as well as most Americans who have never been to England, I like to think I mean, there are aspects of British slang and British dialects, UK dialects, I don't understand. But as far as basic slang words, like a fag is a cigarette, pissed is drunk, I tend to think I know most of that stuff. I'm sure somebody will hit me with things. The one I always have fun trying to learn is the rhyming slang. Like somebody walks up and says, hey, you got the lager and lime. And you're like, lager and lime? No, I'm not drinking. And he grabs your watch and says, oh, lager and lime, the time, rhyming slang. That's something you don't really have in America that is prominent in parts of the UK. Rhyming slang. That part, I'm trying to keep up. Well, in all honesty, Leslie, we walk, drive, ride our bikes, and do everything. Pavement is just asphalt. Pavement is asphalt or any place that doesn't have something on top of it is pavement. If it's concrete or asphalt, it's pavement until you put a building on it. Then it's pavement around the building. If you put lines in the pavement and say it's a sidewalk, then we call it a sidewalk. If you put pavement in the driveway and say it's a driveway, then it's a driveway. But pavement is anything that's asphalt or concrete in a big area. Apples and pears for stairs. No, there was a video out there about the Scottish woman, and Chris left, but the Scottish woman talking to Alexa, trying to get Alexa to play a song. Alexa, play this song. And she said, no, you stupid twat. I said. It's so funny because obviously Alexa is trying to hear more proper English. But you know, we had slang. Like in America, a guy would walk up to you and say, hey, you got a couple of bennies. Well, at one time, bennies were pills, you know, uppers. But bennies are also, oops. Ah, okay, we had a camera freeze. Bennies are also Benjamin Franklin's, which are $50 bills. No, grants on the $100 bills. See, I forget which president. See, I don't see him that often, so I don't know what's on our bills. 10 is Hamilton, and 20 is a guy I'd like to get rid of. Andrew Jackson is on the 20. Oh, Randall, it is amazing what I survived, the stupid stuff I did. Where my wife went to church, they have this giant parking lot. And even before I met my wife, my friends and I in high school would go over there in the winter when it would get icy, and we would do figure eights, you know, just spin our cars. We would do spin outs and everything. And I would jump on top of the car, either the hood or the actual top of the car. Now in America, the hood is the front part. I know you UK guys, like the trunk is called the boot, but on the front part of the car, the opening lid, we call it a hood. I would jump on the hood while they're doing 40 miles an hour and doing spin outs. It's amazing. I never even got hurt. I never fell off. It's amazing the stupid stuff we all did, I'm sure, as kids. Here Alexa struggles. Yeah, there you go, Carl. That's another good one. On a ship, you have cargo. And in a car, it's a shipment. And you wonder why people hate English. And the funny thing is, I love to use these examples with my students when I'm trying to teach them German. Mr. Dodge, that doesn't make any sense in English. Well, it's not English, it's German. You know, for example, in English, to ask a question, we add a verb. Like, I play basketball. I play basketball. I do play basketball. I am playing basketball. I will play basketball. I will be playing basketball. And in German, that's all covered by one phrase. Ich spiele Basketball. I play basketball. And my students want to add words like is, like, Mr. Dodge, I'm trying to say I am playing. So they'll add the German word for am, bin. Ich bin spielen. It's like, no. German, only one verb, only one verb. And then to ask a question, do you play? So we add the word do, or does he play? Are you playing? In German, they just put the verb first. Spielst du basketball? Do you play basketball? German says play you basketball. And my American's like, that's so weird. And they'll start, why do they do it that way? It's so weird. It's like, we're English. We're the newer language. We're the one that's more complicated. Because we add stuff and cloud stuff and we have goofy things. So, yeah, it's, but, you know, I have my love of languages and accents. That's why one of my college degrees is linguistics. I mean, I have a lot of degrees from college. I have English lit grade, English education, so I can be an English teacher, German degree, German education, so I can be a German teacher, linguistics. I have a master's in English and English lit. I need like 2 more classes done and I'd have a history degree. 3 more classes I'd have a history degree. But I got tired of going to school. And I did it all in 4 years. I even got my master's degree in my 4th year of college. Yeah, we used to have roads out here. Now, Randall, we would do that too. Now, I'm a city boy. When I was a kid, Toledo had over 400,000 people. Now we're down to maybe just under 300,000 people. But we got lots of country roads 5-10 minute drive away from where I live, or where I lived um, when I lived with my parents. And yeah, we would race on the roads, and you would try to keep an eye on where the cops were, because the cops would be on one part of the highway or the country road, and we'd be on the others, and we'd race. But my dad raced cars and motorcycles. He quit when I was born. Maybe why he was mad at me all the time, because I ended his racing career. My sisters didn't stop his racing career, but once he had a son, he decided to stop. Maybe it's because he was 40 years old and hadn't won anything. You know, maybe it was time to stop, Dad. But yeah, but even my grandfather died at the age of 85. 85 or 86. My grandfather celebrated his birthday by driving his age. So when he turned 85, he went out on the road by his house and drove 85. At 83, he got a ticket. Cop pulled him over. Do you know what you're doing? Yeah, today's my birthday. I'm 83, and I'm driving 83. And when I turn 84, you're going to catch me doing 84. That was my grandpa. I thought that was hilarious. And the officer's like, that's insane. He says, well, when I was young, I used to be able to do 100, but I've slowed down. And he couldn't have done 100 because the cars back then didn't do 100. But that was my grandpa. By having a master's degree, I mean, technically I could be called professor, but no. In America, you're only a professor if you teach at college. Even if you have a doctorate degree, you're a professor. He has a doctorate in astrophysics, and he's a professor at such and such university. So if you teach at a university or a college, you're a professor. So yeah, in America, right. In America, we start school at age 5 with kindergarten, and then we have first grade through 12th grade. 12th grade, you graduate, and that's the end of your requirement for education. You can then go on to college or university. So I went on to university and had a lot of majors. I majored in a lot of things. I was a German, English, history triple major, and I eventually dropped German, I dropped history. But I'd already taken enough history classes. So yeah, you have, so we then start college, and most degrees when I went to college back in the 80s were 4-year degrees, and then a master's was an additional year, and then a doctorate, depending on what you were in, was anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Now, if you went to law school, then that was so many years. Medical school was like an additional 5 to 7 years. But basically, in English or business administration, a master's was 1 additional year of school, and a doctorate in economics was an additional 2 years, 2 to 3 years, if you were full-time in school and not, able to go to school full-time and not working. You're just a lecturer? Oh yeah, my grandpa had an amazing sense of humor. Yeah, my dad, the thing is, I am pretty sure my grandpa wasn't the greatest father to my dad. Because my dad was an oops baby. My grandpa had lost everything in the Depression, barely hanging on to his house. My dad would tell us stories about how he and his sisters had to sneak into farmers' yards and steal carrots and cabbage so that the family could eat. And my dad was an oops baby. He's 10 years younger than his closest sibling. And my dad was in poor health as a baby. Which obviously caused But my dad tried to be the exact opposite of my grandpa in a lot of ways. But to me, my grandpa was awesome. My grandpa was the funniest, wildest, craziest guy. And it's like, maybe where he messed up with my dad, he was trying to make up for it with me. But I think even at a young age, he kind of saw my dad was not respecting having a son I don't know what it was. So my grandpa watched me a lot as a kid growing up. So I idealized my grandfather. But yeah, my grandpa was wild. So that's the kind of crap my grandpa would do. I learned all my dirty jokes from my grandpa. Good night, Leslie. Take care. Yeah, it's going on 10, isn't it? Yeah. Quarter after 10 right now. 20 after 10 now. Well, 16 after. So then most Americans graduate from university if they can get a 4-year degree. Many degrees have now bumped up to 5 years to get a bachelor's degree. Like in Germany, they have 2 degrees. In America, we have 3 degrees. You can get a bachelor's, which is your basic 4-year degree. Then you can go up to a master's and then a doctorate. Germany, they don't, as far as I know, they don't do the bachelor's. They do, they go straight to a master's or a doctorate. A Meister's diploma and then a doctorat. Yeah. Ed, my grandfather was born in 1892 and died in 1977. My grandma was born in 1893 and died in 1967. My grandpa Ritz, my mom's father, he was born in 1899 and died in the 1980s. And my grandma was born in 1903 and she died 1983, 81, because I was in my 3rd year of high school. Well, hello, Heath. All right, Flymo, thanks for hanging out for so long. Well, hello, Rachel. Welcome. Yeah, I don't know if Joyce is coming down. She's scared she's going to get yelled at for stealing my steam train away from me. So, wow, we still got 23 people hanging. Now, granted, we just had some new people coming in. Oh, wow, that's interesting, Ed. Hey, Philip Page, nice to have you, sir. So, yeah, now, the thing is, having a master's in English, if I taught English, I would get more pay because in my profession, to be a teacher, you just need a bachelor's degree, although they encourage masters. But I have a bachelor's in English and then a master's in English, but I don't teach English anymore. So I get a slight pay increase for having a master's, but you get more money if you have what they call masters in field. In other words, you have a master's. So if I went back and got a master's in German, I'd get a lot more money because that's what I teach now. I rarely teach English, and I have to teach a certain percentage of my classes. Over half my classes would have to be English classes to qualify for that. And I haven't taught more than one English class a year in 16 years, 17 years. But when I was in school, my life when I was in college, when I was at university, was get up at 5, probably finish some homework for one of my classes. In college, from 7 a.m., classes from 7 a.m. to 1 or 2 p.m., work from 1 or 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., 9 or 10 p.m. Once I started dating Joyce, well, go over to Joyce and hang out for an hour or two, get home about 1 a.m., go to sleep, and start the process all over again. Hey, look who's here.
Hi, everybody.
Wow, is that projected? Good for you.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay, there you go. So there we go. So yeah. Now Joyce, on the other hand, Joyce now out-earns me. She now makes more money than me because my pay topped off. My pay topped off a few years ago. Joyce has just now topped up, but she's got masters in field. So boom, she shot above me in pay. My male ego is not hurt. For two reasons. Number one, it means more money in the house. And number two, if she gets cocky about it, I can knock her out. Wait, no, that was wrong. That was totally wrong. Look at that look. Totally wrong. But totally inappropriate. Sorry about that, guys. Look at that look.
Yeah. Why did I do what?
What do you mean, do what? What do you mean, why did you do what? What do you think you did? Look at these people and explain to them. Don't act like you don't know what we're talking about. You know darn well what we're talking about. Why?
Well, you were talking about salaries and school. And
No.
that kind of shit.
Don't change the subject. Inquiry minds want to know why you did it.
Why? Because it's Christmas. And because it's Christmas. I think I'm done.
You hear that, people? You hear that, people? I could have been. Hang on. Where is it? I could have been playing with this right now. And she took it away from me and wrapped it. I could have been playing with this. But no, she has to give it to me as a Christmas gift, even though I bought it and ordered it. You guys could have been seeing one of the coolest steamers you would ever see right now, and she took it away from me.
That's right, Steve.
So let her have it, guys. Don't let her get away with this.
You just sit there and everybody else opens and you don't. It's fine. You know, it's all you're getting.
I only need to wait 2 weeks now. Waiting sucks. I live in America. We don't do waiting. We complain that our fast food isn't fast enough. Yes, the second train has a smoke generator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be seeing it in 2 weeks. Generating smoke away. Yeah, Christmas is on us.
All right, Steve Childers, do you want the price or what I paid for it? But of course, my wife didn't take mine away. All right, the train normally goes for $1,200 to $1,300. It came out in 2018. It is a special collector set by American. 1,000. So let's say about 1,000 pounds, starting at 1,000 pounds for you UK people, or 980 guineas. All right. So anyhow, 1,000 pounds, $1,200, 1,000 euros. I paid $400 for it, plus shipping.
It's almost 500 for you.
Well, when shipping and tax got added to it, yeah. Hater. So, it is nice. I like it. But it will be my only steamer. He's, look at that. Paul, he's already steaming. Pissing myself laughing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it for a lot less. I got it for the equivalent of, about 300 quid, 300 pounds.
Yeah. It was tough on Sunday waiting for that eBay auction to end.
Yeah. The guy selling it on eBay had no idea what it was. And he admitted, he says, I don't know the history of this. I'm selling it for a friend. And he was thrilled. He sent me a nice little note when he mailed it to me. Thank you for buying this very much. You've really helped. And I'm like, Dude, I really wanted to tell you it was worth a lot more and was told not
You
to.
did help him though. He's happy they had it. Nobody else has even bid it.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see it. You'll pass on that locomotive? You
Wow.
traitor.
Anyway.
Has to be one. The train is called the Rheingold. The Rheingold. But again, I wouldn't have bought it if it was that much. I wouldn't have been able to buy it if it were $200 more or $150 more or $100 more. It just came into the wheelhouse. So yeah, it's called the Rheingold. Although, I did mention briefly to Joyce last night, and I think she's hoping I was teasing, that I kind of like the other Rheingold I was going to buy in case I didn't get this one. And I kind of do want the other one now too, just because it's got cool colors. Hey, can you see our his lights on? They are. Okay, they weren't coming here, but... yeah, okay. Bye, Mark. Thanks for stopping by and hanging. You'll stick to your Aether and Blue Box and scale trains locomotives. Oh, I understand. Everybody's got their thing. Ask for Easter. That's only if it's still around. Well, Kenneth, you and I have something in common. My first train was American, but I'll bet yours was earlier than mine, because my first train was 5 years ago. Oh, Randall, it's way over my bank account too. But what I got it for wasn't. Yeah, I didn't pay $1,200 for it. But that is my entire birthday and Christmas right there. Well, no, it's not, because I got the Beatles thing for my birthday too.
I wrapped that too.
Hey, Matt Moore's here.
Oh, man.
You used to...
Oh,
Oh.
man. Always doing the
All trains are cool.
middle ground.
Yep. Well, that's true. All trains are cool. Whatever you're into is what you're into. It's all good. It's all cool. God darn it, I bumped it again. I'm bumping a wire under here, and apparently I need to go under and make sure the plug is tight.
It's all right, David.
She's, she will have her way, to quote the old Crowded House song. No, I get my way, really. I mean, if it was her way, I wouldn't have bought it, period.
I don't think I get my way at all, actually.
Is that train not wrapped and under the tree? You got your way. I got the train, it's wrapped and under the tree. You got your way. I call that a 50-50
Your way of
split.
thinking is exactly correct here, honey. You've nailed it right on the head.
Don't get snarky with me, young lady.
Oh, so you have a ticket to ride. There you go.
Yes, yes. Well, actually, I'm going to be on a yellow submarine.
Should be saving for retirement.
I should be saving for retirement. She's hit me with that one. She's already mad that I'm retiring next year.
You retire. That's the end of your trains. We'll try
You
to
hear
travel.
that? I retire, I'm not allowed to buy any more trains.
You're going to be able to afford to. You're going to try to travel, though, because that's more important.
You don't get your way. Whose house do we live in?
I thought it was ours.
It's ours because we both bought it.
You did.
Who chose this house? I had how many houses? You said, no, no,
'Cause it was
no.
square and boring.
This is the smallest house we looked at, the most expensive house we looked at, but you liked it, we own it. Don't say you don't get your way. We have a new roof on the garage. We have a shed in the backyard. Whose ways were those?
You're right, those are as fun as a train. Maybe because we needed them.
Oh, Matt, your link was I mean, I went to the page. That wasn't the additional 2 cars. Even though they were showing 2 cars, that was advertising the set without the track. I got the set with the track, so it was not the 2 spare cars. Yeah, I'm still looking for it's Hornby R40001, so 40,001. So yeah, that unfortunately was not the extra cars. That was the set that doesn't come with the track and controller. That was the set I wanted. Had you told me that 2 weeks earlier, pointed me there, I could have bought that and saved about 60 American dollars, 60 to 70 American dollars. Because I wound up having to buy the what am I trying to say? The set with the track, which I don't need. Oh, David, I've made sure Joyce and I have at least one debate on every stream just to keep it interesting. There's a reason some of my songs talk about sleeping on the couch. Yeah, Andrew, I've got to convert it, but technically what I'm actually going to do is until I can ship it off to convert it, I'm going to set up the Pico track down here on the floor, and I'm going to run it in DC mode just to see it running and giggle like a schoolgirl for a couple of minutes. What's going to happen when I run out of train room? I kicked the daughter out. I've still got a whole nother room next to me here. I've still got a whole nother room next to me. That is my daughter's sewing and hobby room right now. If she ever moves out, it's my room. And you can't see the closet back here, but we expand through the closet over here.
Hi, Kenneth.
Bye, Kenneth. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, so we got a closet right back here. And so you see this little branch off way over here. You see that branch off back there. That leads to a parking area where, like right now, all my ICEs and my Railjet are parked. And there's a closet next to it. And the closet goes under stairs and goes into another room. If my daughter ever moves out, I'm expanding into that room, creating a big turnaround, and maybe opening this area up and moving basically this area, this 11-lane track area here, and just running everything into there and having a big turnaround and then coming back out. And that would open up a lot of space here for more buildings and more scenics.
I looked at that and thought it couldn't happen.
There's a way to do it, yeah.
Something was in the way.
There is a beam in the way, but it's not a support beam. It's just a thing holding up. If I took the closet out, it'd be no problem. Darn it. Okay. So anyhow, yeah, that's it. We still got 19 people here, but yeah. Now, we toyed with that idea over the summer when we were watching Tim Wells put his O-gauge outside train in. We toyed with that idea, and then just not very long. It's just one more expense, and as I'm closing in on retirement next year, expenses have to come down. Okay.
It's not you.
No, something must be. I'll bet it's the Regio Bond is clipping something then, because when I run him, that's on these two tracks. He definitely doesn't like this one because it catches. He just on those bits, but I don't know what's doing it. I really don't know why all of a sudden, but it's usually I'm bumping something over here. So, but anyhow, next week, Saturday is my birthday. I will be on live Friday at 4 again because Richard will be doing his bit. So I won't have the Beetle Train on then unless I go live Saturday or something. Um, but it's definitely. There we go. Is that everybody stopped? Yeah, you can hear that guy buzzing a bit. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely something looking forward to, and then I'll probably do, like I said, on Christmas Day after we open the gifts and clean things up, and everybody gets a little bored for a bit. I'll probably bring that new train down here. I'm going to film an episode of Miracle and Outsider, the first one I filmed in 7 months, and do a review of that, and then I'll post that maybe before my live stream, maybe after my live stream. Maybe do the live stream first so everybody can see it live and then post a review. But that'll be the day after Christmas, what you in the UK call Boxing Day. But we'll see about the Beatles Yellow Submarine. I can't run it on these tracks, but I might set up a loop track on the floor, or maybe I'll set it up on our kitchen counter and steal Philip Page's a page from Philip Page, and have a kitchen counter express. Yes, I saw that look. So yeah, it's been very cool. And once again, for those of you still here, we're up to 21 again. Everybody, seriously, thanks for coming to all the live streams. Thanks for your support. You guys don't know how much it means. This is what I wanted when I got into trains and joined YouTube, was not to make my stupid shows, but was to meet and talk to people. And that I have a live stream that 20 to 30 people show up on is amazing. I really appreciate you guys a lot, especially here in the COVID lockdowns. But to have 700 subscribers now, it took me a long time to get there, but I never expected to get there. I never expected to have 200, much less 300, then 400. This year alone, my page grew by 450. Now I can't compete with, and this is all in fun, I can't compete with Rachel, who in June had what, 800, 900 subscribers, and now she's up to 4,000. Bam! Or like Ali at Wardle Road, or Tristan at Double O'Neill, who started in the fall, late winter last year, and bam, 4 or 5. But they do quality stuff. They do stuff. I do nothing. So that amazing 700 people follow a stupid American running German trains who does nothing. I'm just blown away by. So until I see you in somebody's live stream over the next few days, although I may not be around much, I've got a bunch of exams I have to digitize this weekend. Next week is our exam week. So until I see you in the live stream, or I'll see you next Friday if you show up here. All of you, take care. Auf Wiedersehen and Tschüss, and happy trains.